A reading from the book of the prophet Ezekiel. In those days, the Spirit entered into me and set me upon my feet. And I heard him speaking to me. And he said to me, Son of man, I send you to the sons of Israel, to a nation of rebels who have rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me to this very day. The people also are imprudent and stubborn. I send you to them, and you shall say to them, Thus says the Lord God. And whether they hear or refuse to hear, for they are a rebellious house, they will know that there has been a prophet among them. The word of the Lord.
Look A reading from the second letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians. Brethren, to keep me from being elated by the abundance of revelations, a thorn was given me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to harass me, to keep me from being elated. 3 times I begged the Lord about this, that it should leave, but he said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. I will all the more gladly boast of my weaknesses, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weaknesses, insult, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I'm weak, then I'm strong." The word of the Lord. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He has sent me to preach good news to the poor.
The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus came to his own country, and his disciples followed him. And on the Sabbath he began to teach in the synagogue. And many who heard him were astonished, saying, "Where did this man get all this? What is the wisdom given to him? What mighty works are wrought by his hands? Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary, and brother of James and Joseph and Judas and Simon? And are not his sisters here with us?" And they took offense at him. And Jesus said to them, "A prophet is not without honor except in his own country, and among his own kin, and in his own house." And he could do no mighty works there, except that he laid his hands upon a few sick people and healed them. And he marveled because of their unbelief. And he went about among the villages teaching. The Gospel of the Lord.
I started my university when I was 16 years old. Now, I was very, very young then. Leaving home was frightening. To live in a city on my own, renting a small space. In fact, when I was in the city, I was just a bed spacer. We were 3 in the room, and we were renting each bed. Doing my own budgeting, cooking, my own food, washing, and paying school, plus the fact that I had to study strange subjects. I was doing accounting, minor business administration, and then my minor was accounting. And for a young boy like this, to study like this, it was kind of crazy. And then living home was of mixed feelings. Mom was always emotional, but at the same time, she was very happy, excited of my new life. And for me, it was a freedom, to be out of home and then to stay on your own. It was a freedom. So she was writing many letters to me, and I was always checking from the university's post office if I have some letters, and of course, excited to have when there is something inserted for your allowance. Until on my third year, I started working during the day, and I started every day from 5 to 9 in the evening. So I worked during the day and studied in the 5 to 9 in the evening. As I've said, living home and staying afar is challenging, but also rewarding. However, homecoming is always fun. Now, there are so many stories to tell, so many things to share. And from my little savings, I bought some chocolates or what for my younger brother and whatsoever. So, but homecoming can also be complicated because there are significant changes in you since you left. Some of them at home, they have changed. Your friends have changed. And there are expectations, and some of them are frustrating. So changes happen to everyone. Change happens to everyone. As they say, the only change that cannot be changed is change. In the gospel today, we have heard Jesus returning to his hometown of Nazareth. He had been away for some times, but remember, he spent 30 years of his life in Nazareth. Jesus left Nazareth when I was 30, and I left my village when I was 16. So, but when he was there, he was only known by people as the son of the carpenter. And probably after the death of his father Joseph, he was simply known as the carpenter, the son of Mary. But Jesus' life has changed since he left Nazareth. He has taken another direction. He was not doing carpentry in his mission. He was entering into a work his father was asking him to do. He was a carpenter when he left, but when he came back, he was a teacher and a healer. And of course, his townsfolk would wonder. They wondered very much. More than that, they could not believe where did he get all his wisdom. They could not accept that a carpenter is now teaching them many things. So they rejected Jesus. He was just a carpenter, and they still have that kind of idea. They wanted him to be the person they had always known. They could not move on. So what happened? His leaving Nazareth was painful, especially for him and for his mother. But his going back home to Nazareth was more painful because he was rejected by his own people. He was greatly amazed of their unbelief. They thought they knew Jesus. And that image of a carpenter blocked them, their understanding and learning about the Lord. So there's something that we have to be careful always. We easily assume that we know somebody too well. But in fact, we know only a little about the person. Remember that expression, familiarity? Okay. Familiarity breeds contempt, meaning that if you know the person very well, you can easily lose respect for the person or become careless in situations. Meaning again, the more you know someone, the more you will find fault with him or her. Now, when you have access to the private life of the person, it is easy for you. You will be easily tempted not to despise the person because you know him too well. Why I said this, that we have to be careful about familiarity? No, it is because we can easily assume that we know them. And then we can easily also make strong opinions about them. There was more to Jesus, no, but his townsfolk did not take him that way. Jesus was nothing to them than a carpenter. So there is more to me that you don't know, and there is more in you that I don't know. No, there is more of you that is unique. No, there is a mystery in you, in each one of us. We need just to understand, not just to understand the person, but also to respect and accept others. Because as I've said, there is something more in that person. Every time I go home for my holidays, there are questions. These are observations. In fact, I just went home last February. I gave a talk to the seminarians in my diocese, and they were commenting of my different way of life. Like the way I talk, the way I deal with the people, my understanding, or even my sharing, or my homilies, and my thoughts. They said, "You are different, Father." I said, maybe they had in mind that I am like a diocesan priest, but I am not. So I told them, I am not 100% Filipino anymore. I am a Filipino-Mexican, I am a Filipino-American, I am a Filipino-African, I am a Filipino-Zambian, I am Filipino-Malawian, I'm Filipino-South African. I am so very, very mixed that I am no longer 100% in terms of culture and tradition. So I have changed completely, and my views are different, being in the mission outside of my country for a long time. So it is the same way with Jesus. Jesus has changed. But the people were looking only of the ordinariness of Jesus. It is even in the same way we look at other people. There's something even in the ordinariness of our lives. That is what we have to acknowledge in each person. The Lord comes to us even in the ordinariness of our lives, in every day of our lives, whether you are cooking in the kitchen, or you're teaching in the school, working in the office, or cleaning, whatsoever you do. God comes to us and through the ordinary days of our lives. Even in experiences that are somehow negative, it can turn positive in the future. So St. Paul in the second reading, expressed his struggles, and he called it the thorn in the flesh. So what does it mean, thorn in the flesh? That others are a continuous problem to you or annoy you. But I guess Paul's meaning is different. Probably he was talking about his personality, or pride, or arrogance, mistakes, or behaviors, or reactions, or not pleasing attitudes. Paul made a discovery of himself. He made a discovery of himself, and he wanted to get rid of all these negativities because they are thorn in the flesh. He prayed, and God rewarded for that. When you are struggling inside your heart, or outside, or even in your environment, or your relationship with other people, know that this is also the moment that in this moment of difficulties, that we open up to God's presence. And the Lord is powerfully at work in you. So do you realize something? When Paul said, "My power is at its best in weakness." So it is like us. It is like our vocation. We used to joke when we were seminarians, when one is in crisis, wanting to go home, that this is not my life, that this is everything and everything. And we always joke with each other. If vocation is not tested, the Holy Spirit is not working. So when our lives, even in our lives, when we are tested with so much difficulties, know that the Spirit is working, is there, because the Lord is there even in moments of hardships and difficulties. So we just have to remember always, when in moments of struggle, it is in moments of struggle that God touches our lives, the innermost of our lives.